This is Things I've Found Online. Starring me, Joe Cipriano, somewhere in New York City. Larry Morgan, who is in absentia. And the lovely and talented Louise Palanker. Brace for excitement. Radio legends are looking at life through the lens of the internet. Louise?
It's a true thing, Joe. That's exactly what we're doing. Our guests are ice skating choreographer Sarah Kawahara and comedian / artist / father of twins, Brett Gilbert.
Yay!
Round of applause.
Woo! Yay!
And then zooming in, we have Nick Broussard. Nick!
How are y'all?
Nick is
Nick,
international.
where are
I can
you?
hear you.
I'm in Montevallo, Alabama. It's a
At
small
school?
town.
Yep. What's the name?
Really? You're in Alabama? Hot damn.
Alabama.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
What's the
Yeah.
name of the school?
University of Montevallo. Yeah.
Nice, representing. Okay, so this will be on
Yeah.
their bulletin board by tonight. Okay, and let's welcome Sarah Kawahara. She's a very professional ice skating choreographer, that is like a niche. You like how many of you are there?
Well, there's a handful of us.
Okay, do you
really.
like each other?
Well, I brought the most of them up.
Okay,
They're like
young
Chris? They became my team, and then I send them off, and they
but
go off.
skate free.
Yes.
So if we Google Sarah Kawahara, which I think we
let's do it.
should
Yeah.
do because this is a show about the internet, we should Google her. Sarah Kawahara is a Canadian figure skater and choreographer who has won 2 Emmy Awards. You've choreographed not only skating specials on the television, but you've also choreographed movies, for example, Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
Blades
Which is-
of Glory.
Oh my God, it's my wife's favorite movie of all time.
which is just a great film about 2 men who become ice skating partners.
Yes.
And were you on the set every day? Like, what did that entail?
Well, it entailed teaching Will Ferrell how to ice skate.
So
And that was a really big project.
And what was his skill
bet.
level when you met him?
None.
0.
None. No, but he really believes, he really considers himself an athlete.
Okay.
So it was hard for him. It was hard for him to face the fact that skating backwards was that difficult. He said, it makes absolutely no sense. Why would I turn my head and look away from where I'm pushing? He says, it just doesn't I don't understand it. But he's 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big
He's
dude.
a big guy. It's a long ways down.
That's a long way to go.
Yeah. But it was great fun because he was just, always a great laugh. And the whole cast of John Heder and Amy Poehler and Will Arnett. Will Arnett could really skate because he's from Toronto, and, us Canadians, they all
Ice
skate.
skate.
Toronto, eh? Yeah.
Born with
Big
skates on.
hockey
right.
out there.
Right. So,
So Sarah, how good did he have to get? It's just being able to stand up, or he had to be pretty darn good.
No, he had to be almost pretty darn good. I mean, did have wires for him to make him feel like, more confident and more solid. So we had a whole network of trust
But you had
to
wires?
help assist him.
so he was like your puppet.
He was my puppet.
You literally
Tries to be
had
a real
wires on
boy.
him.
Yeah.
Your puppet.
All right, so you guys, was it in the script that there would be this, what's the move called? It's a very dangerous maneuver.
The Iron Lotus.
Iron Lotus. Was that in the
Iron
script?
Lotus.
No, I got to make up. They had the Pamchenko from Cutting Edge, and that was a made-up role. I did not do that film. So this was like my chance to make up a fantasy move.
Okay.
So I got to make up the Iron Lotus. It was really, really fun because it was my fantasy. And there's a move called the bounce spin where a guy takes the girl's feet and swings her around so her head almost hits the ice, and then he throws her up, and when he throws her up, then that person would do a backflip in the air, and then as he falls down, the guy would catch him by the hand and foot and whirl him around like an airplane. And that was what we decided would be the Iron Lotus.
And in the film, the skates come around very, very close to the neck.
Yes,
guillotine fashion.
almost slices his neck.
Yeah, and gave him a nice clean shave.
Clean shave, yeah. The straight edge shave, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of whiskers fly off. Yeah.
So this move has never actually been executed.
No, not in real time. Not in real time. Though the directors really fantasized about doing it in real time. It just was beyond physics. It was beyond physics.
Still beyond physics. Okay, maybe in space.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we could
the
go
final frontier.
If you're going to send a man to space, I say you should do it to execute the Iron Lotus.
Yes, absolutely.
Elon Musk.
Yes.
True.
Make it happen, Elon.
It would make space cool. Like, space is already cool, but it would make space cooler.
Cooler.
Yeah, and so how much CGI is involved when you've got people who, can maybe skate a little better than Will Ferrell, but it really looks like it's Will Ferrell and John Heder? Like, how much CGI is involved where you would put one face on top of a stunt skater?
It really depends on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Well,
big
Ferrell movie, so-
consideration. Yeah, but when I worked with, for instance, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, she really was very capable with her skating and did a lot of choreography. I had good doubles for the big jumps and the spins, but we did face replacement, but she actually did a lot of the choreography of the movement.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which was really extra nice because we really wanted to do a lateral move with how the skating was staged and the athleticism and the caliber.
It was so kinetic because the camera
it's
was
great.
moving with the skaters.
Yes, we had a skating cameraman.
Oh my gosh.
Dana Morris, yeah. He was amazing
Are you
from
serious?
Long Beach.
It's like a
Absolutely.
steady cam strapped to him?
Absolutely, steady cam, and he was on his hockey skates going backwards, and we blocked the shot, and it was just really
Crazy.
he really deserves a lot of credit.
He must have had thighs the size of a log.
Yeah, that's true.
To do that,
It's
to carry
true.
that gets heavy
Yeah.
after a while.
Yeah, it's true.
And so are you out there on ice skates with everybody while all this is happening?
I am, but I'm of course not anywhere near the shot.
Sure.
But I'm.
Do you wear tassels?
Oh no.
Like the outfit with glitter and stuff like
What
that?
kind of skating do you think this is?
As you
A lot of
choreograph.
mylar.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
just
And sequins. Gotta have sequins.
catch the light.
So you're out there and you're just like, all right, let's try it again, but maybe this time push off on that foot. And
Well, the director Craig Gillespie of I, Tonya, he really had a vision as to how he wanted to present the skating, and it was a cross between sport and entertainment, and he really felt like he wanted to make his own cutting edge as to what that was going to be.
I think
so
he
it was
did.
fun.
He did.
It was really fun to work with
I
him.
thought the movie was very well done. So well done.
Oh,
But
great.
Sarah, you were a contemporary of Tanya and also Nancy, weren't you, back in the day?
Absolutely. I was choreographing for Champions on Ice at the time, and then when Nancy got her silver medal at the Olympics, I went on to do a television special for her. And, it was all so close to me. I mean, we were all basically appalled that this would ever happen in the skating world, but it really gave us so much. It gave the field so much because all of a sudden all eyes were on skating and people were interested in it, and it was kind of
That is true.
tabloid and so we got a lot of television specials out of that incident.
And Tanya
Yeah.
had a boxing career too.
Boxing career, that's absolutely.
hashtag silver lining. I'm sure you guys were talking about it in real time as it was all happening. Did this movie answer a lot of questions in terms of just the whole psychology beneath the surface of, it was really easy. Like there's a moment in the film where Tanya says, I became a punchline. And it's like, yeah, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
So she was abused from go. And so
Oh my
her
gosh.
whole world wasn't seeing life the way we saw life, where it was easy to make fun of her. She had a skewed view of absolutely everything. Did the film answer some questions for a lot of people in the skating world as to how this type of thing could have ever happened?
I think it answered a lot of questions for myself. Actually, I had no idea she was abused. I had no idea.
Oh,
I mean,
how
I
about
never
that?
grew up around her. I wasn't up in the Portland area, and I just had no idea.
Did you ever have any experience with her mom? Did you ever see her in person?
No, I never met the mom. I met
Okay.
I met Tanya a couple times. Her manager came to me and asked if I would choreograph for her. This was before the incident, and I said I turned him down because it just wasn't the right time. I was working with Yamaguchi and Surya Bonali and all these other contemporary people, and the timing wasn't right. So it's kind of weird that it kind of came full circle, and I ended up working with her in the long run.
Yeah.
But it was I was shocked. I was shocked when I read the script, and I thought, oh God, this is going to be so controversial. And people have preconceived ideas too as to what their opinions of the incident and the time and the girl are preconceived, a lot of it. So you can't. That's their prerogative. So, but I think as an entertainment piece, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. They kept breaking the fourth wall and saying, this really never happened. And they would say that over and over again. And it got a little bit confusing. It was like, okay, what really did happen? Because they kept saying that.
Right. Well, I think that Stephen Rogers was a writer, and he interviewed her and Jeff Galooly and bought her the rights to her life story. And what made him believe this was a movie was their contradiction. They both had such contradictory memories of the incident.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he thought, this is a movie. This is my movie.
The truth is somewhere. Let everybody watch the film and come away and with their own conclusions.
So, well, now, Sarah, maybe, what do you think? And my friend Patty Black, who loves ice skating, figure skating, she watches every single one and says it's very popular, which I know it is. He said, what would you like me to ask Sarah? And she said, I want to know if she knows if Tanya was involved with the attack.
Well, it's hard for me to believe that she just wouldn't know what was going on. It's just really hard. I mean, you're living in the same house. Of course, they were separated at the time, I just couldn't really keep up with whether they were together or separated or divorced or what was going on with their relationship. So it's hard for me to really know. But it just seems to me that she would have had an inkling, I mean.
I think she kind of admitted that on a special that aired a couple of weeks ago, and then they went back to Connie Chung and they said, well, she just said this, and Connie went, she did. Yeah. So, I think as time goes on and there's like maybe more acceptance that, people who are abused live in an alternate reality, and they're not even able to pick up their head and look around and say, okay, stop.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And it's not for me to judge, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you said when it actually happened, how it really shone a light on figure skating, and it was good for the sport. Actually, now with the movie coming out right before the Olympics, I bet there's going to be a lot more viewership of figure skating on the Olympics as well.
I think that was part of the strategy.
There you go. Somebody was thinking.
Gymnastics needs someone to get hit in the head.
Or maybe
with
a
crowbar.
doctor who abuses kids.
Oh, God, that.
No, we don't. No more of that. Okay. All right. So we also have with us. Oh, so Sarah, before we move on to Brett, because he's fascinating. He's going to sweep the conversation in completely separate because he's a marginal skater. Marginal. But you were just inducted into 2 huge halls of fame. If that's the correct plural.
Yeah, it was just so exciting for me. Actually, it was 3. I got the trifecta this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was the World Hall of Fame and the U.S. Hall of Fame and Skate Canada Hall of Fame. And, I'm just a kid from Toronto that was never a champion. So it's truly a phenomenon.
That's so great.
That's really cool.
You took a hold of your sport and you said, here's how I can best serve this sport. And you put your skill set together with your ability to inspire and create. And it was just a perfect career for you.
I went into it as a performer, and I loved performing. I was not a great competitor. I never won anything, but I was really expressive and creative, and I could tell a story, and I was good at character work. So I found my calling in the land of show, in the Ice Capades, and that was just fabulous. I was there for 8 years, but then I wanted to be able to translate the passion of what I felt in some way with my sport, and that's why I got into choreography. So who knew? I had no idea it was going to be a career this long or this big or carrying me this far. So I'm very appreciative.
So do we have one of those videos of Sarah? They would put together these packages that they would show probably right before you walked up to the stage, correct?
The air makes me.
Oh yeah,
there she is.
yeah,
And everything, all the
you
little hairs on my body kind of stand up. And I think I've always felt that from the first time I ever went into a ring, and it's something that is electrifying. My last year of competition was in 1973. Karen Magnuson won Canadians, and then she went on to win Worlds. And I was 22nd in Senior Canadians, and the talent scout found me, discovered me, and asked Mr. C, Osborne Colson, if I would be interested in auditioning for a show. So I auditioned for the show, and I got just timing. I got a spot, and I went on to have a very full artistic solo skating career with the Ice Capades, and became really good friends with Karen Magnuson, and we became roommates.
I think they picked you because you were the prettiest girl.
Yeah.
And you look a lot taller in person.
On skate
long
sheets.
torso, I had a
easy.
long torso.
And she's sitting down, which is amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
So Nick was going to talk to us about the Instagram. You've got something to say to Instagram. Is that correct, Nick? That you're not exactly enthused with.
Well, it's more than just Instagram. It's like all these social media sites, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube. They don't make money off of products. They use free apps. And so they're in this like zero-sum race with each other, strictly for our attention. So, I mean, they have, hundreds of staff psychologists just looking to play on vulnerabilities and
Insecurities,
and it's like, people, when TV first came around, people would argue about like kids being exposed to TV and stuff. But the issue now is that this is available 24/7.
right?
The algorithms, they stream endlessly. So it's like, and with Instagram, it's like, you only have, say if you have a video, you only have max of a minute long. So really there's billions and billions of all this fragmented data, which really, it adds up to nothing. It's not knowledge based. It's not anything. It's like, it's pure liking and stuff. It releases dopamine. Like it's.
So it creates an addiction that maybe plays on your insecurities to where you're like, oh, if I like this, then maybe a piece of what's glorious about this person will rub off on me. And, you just keep refreshing the page to maybe see something that makes you feel better about yourself. And all of it just makes you feel like you're never going to be as cool as that person.
Right. See, like with Instagram, it promotes like it's like a picture perfect life. Like you can filter everything. With Snapchat, they've turned, like they have a new feature called streaks. So.
Well, I don't even know what Snapchat is. What is that?
Well, we'll get to that.
So Snapchat is like it's old. Just a basically like a text equivalent, but you just send pictures and they just last for like 10 seconds or whatever, and you just send them back and forth, and you can post stuff, but it's all temporary.
So the Explore page, Nick, you get to the Explore page by hitting the magnifying glass. Is that the Explore page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Explore page.
And it what shows up is sort of based on you. Like it's not, if Brian hit it and I hit it, we would have different results. But it's curated based on whatever would work would make you kind of refresh the page more often? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Mine just has like basketball and stuff like that, and like I get the same videos over and over again. It's annoying.
So it remembers what you search on it.
Yeah, it's like you click certain things, and then like all of a sudden it just claims like this is what you're gonna like. And what sucks is like half of the times I do like join it. I'm like,
they know.
Yeah, it's like
Big
crazy.
Brother knows.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I got a lot of tennis on mine.
Oh, you
I
get
can
tennis,
see
okay.
that. Yeah, and ice cream for some reason.
Yeah. So Nick and I were talking the other day, and I was saying, we all know that Facebook can, target you, and Twitter can target maybe by showing you some sort of conspiracy theory or something that's going to get you excited. And why can't they use these algorithms to target kids who are at risk? Like if you've searched, sites about anorexia or eating or where clearly you're on like some sort of bubble. Like, why can't they target you for good and say, here's a place where you can call for help instead of just kind of taking advantage of your weaknesses? Why can't they help us?
Yeah, wow,
that's a good question. I think someone needs to develop that app.
There you go.
Someone named Wheezy.
But Louise, are those people searching for those things?
Yes,
you
they
think
will.
So?
Mm-hmm. Anybody that's suicidal. I mean, look, you got like two young people here, Brian and Nick. Like, you guys know friends who.
I thought you were going to say me. Darn.
Joe, I know you search way too many pretty ballerina pictures.
Oh man, you've been looking.
Right, and that's a body image that no one can really live up to, Joe.
But they're all Degas paintings, so it's okay.
No, but like the people who are in college, like Nick and Brian, you both know that. Yeah, there's kids that search things that are specifically about their insecurities.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, I've like one time when I was like in a bad mood or in a depressed state, I like one time looked up how to figure out if I'm like depressed or not. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And try and diagnose yourself.
Yeah. It's like because at one point in my life I can be like insanely happy, and then just out of nowhere I can just get like really sad and then not want to like talk to anyone, and then I'll start questioning my happiness and like going online and stuff like that. But like, you're right. Like, I've never seen anything that like pops up saying like
call for help.
Yeah.
Some kids will glamorize, self-harm, and there'll be pages where you post your scars and stuff like that. So it's pretty clear if they can tell, who you might vote for. They can certainly tell if you're depressed or if you have certain issues.
Yeah, my Instagram feed is just filled with penile enlargement ads. It's just, it's crazy. I don't know how it happened.
You don't have to like all of them. Maybe just filter. Can we Google Brett?
He's ready.
We're ready to Google, because Brett is also an artist.
Yes.
And your website has all your art. And like Brett and I started out doing stand-up comedy together, and we've known each other for quite some time.
Oh, man, was that back in 90? When did we first meet? 98? I think 98, 99, something like that?
Back in the day, like at Jennifer's Coffee.
Oh, man, I miss Jennifer's Coffee.
Yep.
It's now a Gymboree.
Is it?
Yeah.
We should just show up and start doing comedy.
Yeah, this is where the stage is still supposed to be.
And all right, so click on. Do you have Brett's website? Because he has IMDb and he's been on Jiminy Glick. But look at his art. If you guys are on
let's see.
podcast and you can't.
If you go to posters, you'll see some of the.
Can't quite hear his art.
Go to posters all the way to the left.
You'll go back up for me so I can see the monitor.
There you go. So I do like posters for rock bands and stuff.
So what would you call your style? Do you have?
Illustrative, maybe pop surrealist.
Yeah, you used to do like. What did you have in your apartment? You had like giant cereal boxes?
Oh, that was, yeah. When I was doing oil paintings, I had I did a series of pop art paintings where like the size of this wall here, this painting there. I think your sister said did that.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you sell a lot of art?
I do. I like I said, mostly rock band posters and album covers lately. Mm-hmm. But I haven't had a gallery show in a while because they usually like to have like an actual like a painting to sell. But this is I do these all in pen and ink, and then I paint in Photoshop.
So
what's the medium? Did I miss that? What are you painting with?
I do pen and ink on vellum, and then I paint in Photoshop.
Oh wow!
Wow,
God,
cool,
awesome. Yeah.
So Brett, another thing, fun fact about Brett is that he's the father of twin girls.
Yes.
And like about a year after 9 months or so after the kids were born, I get an email from Brett, and he goes, "Why do you hate my babies?" Because I hadn't been over to visit yet.
Oh my God,
Brett.
Reed.
Like, I should have saved that. Why do you hate my baby? I'm like, well, they are so. They're just, they're all about themselves.
But when you visited, they're like, I always tell the story like when Wheezy visits, like, because you are like a gadget-aholic. You love like electronics and stuff like that. And you had just bought this like watch that like it counts every step you make or something like that. So you had decided to, I'm going to get some exercise with my new gadget. So you had, I think you parked your car like 5 miles away or something crazy.
That's what I do.
And you're like, I'll reach my quota of steps for today. And you got to my place and you're just covered in sweat.
It was a hot day. Yeah, I think I overshot my mark. I maybe hiked about 10 miles to get back to Brett's. But yeah, he's got these 2 awesome babies who are now like 4.
Yep.
And their names are something to behold. So are you willing to share their names?
Sure.
Because,
Yeah.
It's Zofia, Zofia. It's a spelled Lithuanian name because my wife is Lithuanian, and the other one is Citrus, Citrus.
So are they old enough to ask you?
Why?
Why did you put like a random G in my name? Like are they old enough?
I wanted him to get bullied at school. Clearly, gotta toughen him up somehow.
That's
they're
good.
identical, and you've put them in show business, right?
Yeah, sort of.
So how do you sign your babies up for show business? Like, how does
with my commercial agent, I just sent them pictures of my kids, and they're like, "Oh my God, so
they
cute!"
are pretty great.
So they automatically represented them, and then they've been in 3 commercials so far.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. Which ones?
Both of them. Because they're identical twins. Like that's what
he
they
meant what commercials, not what baby.
Oh, what baby? Well, people always ask that. What baby was in it? It's like, well, they.
No, which commercial? Yeah.
There. One was a car commercial, and one was a. Oh God, I can't even remember now. It's been a couple
We're not
of years.
giving brands.
His babies can drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talented. Yeah, so
Well,
that's awesome.
cool.
Is there a picture of your babies that we could find on your Facebook page? Or
Yeah. They're all over my Facebook page.
Yeah,
If you go there,
to Brett's
that's
face.
good.
You can do that.
the latest one I posted, it was just me getting covered in stickers because they're going through a sticker phase now.
Yep, and so
I'll go out in public with stickers covered all over me. I don't even know it. They stick things in my pocket too because I also teach painting, so I was at my painting class. And I was like, "What is this?" And I reach in there, it's like all these Elena of Avalon action figures. And I was like, "Oh, nice."
So they both like. What are their personalities like? Are they different people?
Yeah. Zofia kind of wants to follow Citrus around, and Citrus kind of doesn't want anything to do with Zofia. She wants to be left alone most of the time. And Zofia is definitely more athletic than the other one.
Okay, and are they talking?
Yeah, they're talking. They're little songbirds.
So what do you, when you're parents of multiples, do you go online and find other websites for multiples, or people are like, oh, I have twins.
Yes, that is important because you do learn things. Because like people with just like one kid, you can't really relate to them. Like our biggest problem is babysitters.
Mm-hmm.
Babysitters, like you just can't find a babysitter that can watch twins, especially when they're like infants. So they have a real problem with it. So if you go on the line, you find people in your area, like people who actually raise twins, something like that, and you can like hook up, get their advice.
So do you find like other parents of twins online and then sort of like, like swipe right and then go meet them?
No.
That's a great new app. Well done, Weez. That's good.
That's like the second app you've invented this show.
I'm really good. Yeah. So do you have Brett's twins there, John?
I have,
let's see.
I got to log in to Facebook.
Oh, we got to
All
log
right.
in.
Well,
Okay.
then, because the other game
getting
we were going
zoomed
to
out.
play is like there's a lot of like celebrities that have twins. So we were going to play like if you can click on the website that says how many celebrities who have twins. This is from twinstuff.com. I'm sure you go there often.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So how many celebrities can you name who have twins? Let's see.
The Olsen twins have twins.
No, they are twins. Brett.
They will have twins.
That's
It's
cool.
the twin gene is
Beyonce-
passed down through the mother.
Really? Did you
Yeah.
know that Beyonce and Jay-Z have twins?
Get out
I
of
know.
town, really?
George and Amal Clooney have twins. Is that true?
Really?
I knew that.
All
How
these
about
people-
this one, though?
Mariah Carey, does she have twins?
Roger Federer has 2 sets of twins.
Oh my
Imagine.
God.
Oh,
Wait,
man, that'd be
There's
awful.
Neil Patrick Harris and his twins. There's like evidence. Like this celebrity has twins. Here they are.
How did that happen?
Yeah, he has twins. Julia Roberts has twins.
Logically, that shouldn't be possible.
Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony have twins. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick. Ricky Martin, we knew he had twins.
Matthew Broderick. I always get people say I look like him.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't know Ricky Martin had twins.
He does. He's got twins.
Ricky Martin?
Jerry O'Connell.
He likes women?
And you don't need to
Glad
like
you said
women to
Brad.
have babies.
That's true.
You just need friends who can make you some babies.
Yeah, or a van.
Like some people stop over with a casserole. Other people stop over with, look, you wanted, some babies? I made you some babies. Here's brownies and babies. I mean, it's a nice neighborly thing to do. If you've got, okay, you're not a good neighbor. You kept your twins.
I kept my twins.
Neil
I'm
Patrick
very
Harris
selfish.
would have loved your twins.
Yes, he would have. Dressed him up in little
Selfish.
costumes. I do follow Neil Patrick Harris on Halloween time because they always have like the best costumes for like the family.
Oh, yeah.
that's
So twin costumes. So that's a whole thing. Is there a website for twin costumes?
Probably, yeah. We don't usually dress them identically because they are identical, and I have trouble
I
who's
can't.
who.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of giving one of them one of those like Mike Tyson face tattoos just so I can tell who they're apart. But we purposely dressed them differently just so we could know who they are.
So do you really on the daily have trouble telling your kids apart?
I do. My wife can tell them like instantly, and I'm just like, I have to look at their ear, but their hair covers their ears because like Sophia's ear comes to a point,
Right?
and the Citrus is rounded, so that's
Okay.
the only way I can tell.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are some other differences that Milda just instinctively is
I have no
the way
idea.
they
She
act?
points them out to me, and I'm just like, you're crazy.
A mother knows.
I guess.
But
Yeah.
their personalities are different, right?
No, personalities are definitely different.
Yeah.
But my wife can tell like if she can hear them cry in the other room like at 3 a.m, and she'll go, "Oh, that's Citrus. I'll get up."
Wow.
I'm like,
Wow.
there's no way I would know that.
That's epic.
So
Yeah, that's pretty
are they talking to each other?
Yes, they are talking to each
Does
other.
it sound like English?
It says, "No, that's mine." That's what I get a lot.
It's just
Wow.
like it teaches you how inherently selfish humans are.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And
so you
violent.
were asking,
And
and violent. So you're saying, Weeze, do they have like their own language? Is that what you were going after
Yeah,
between
yeah.
the two of them?
No, but they do communicate telepathically. I have seen them like look at each other in the eyes, and then like a toy will lift off the ground telekinetic wise.
You had me at lift.
Cool. All right. So we've got Brian here, Brian Voight Nelson. And I don't know why do you have 4 names on Facebook? Like what's the 4th name?
Justin.
All right. So you had to add that because 3 names wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, I don't know. At some point in my life, I was like, I should throw my middle name in that. And
Yeah.
now I look at it and I'm like, why do I have 4 names on Facebook?
It's more names than most people.
Yeah,
That's why.
You should add Esquire the Third or something.
Yeah. Just add like a Roman numeral to that or whatever.
It says I'm a king of McDonald's on Facebook, which I still don't know if I should change that or not.
If it's on the internet, then it's true.
Yeah.
Brian.
And it's there forever. My MySpace page will never go away.
Oh, that's you
Oh
were
my God.
you were epic on MySpace. You owned that.
Back in the day.
So Brian, you grew up with my nephew Jake,
Yep.
and then recently I got an email from Brian, or maybe it was a Facebook message, and this is just showing you how the internet impacts all of our lives. And Brian was just like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I would like to be a comedian." And I was like, "All right, come to the show." So Brian comes over, and the thing that I remember most about Brian was like that at Jake's karate party, where you guys were maybe 5, I was like pointing to you and going, "Who's this guy?" Because he was so hilarious. He was such a hilarious 5-year-old. Like you could just tell. I'm sure you can tell with your kids' friends, like the ones that are going to be hilarious.
Maybe not at 4.
Not at 4.
You can tell which ones are gay already.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
But yeah, so when did you start to get interested in? I could tell you were funny even before you knew what a stand-up comedian was. So when did you start to realize, oh, my personality might lend itself to doing this professionally?
I think it was like freshman year in college because like I went to SC to like do sports broadcasting because I was like really into the Clippers, and then I realized like everyone wanted to be a sports broadcaster, and then also like I only knew about the Clippers and I really didn't care to like look up anything else. So I was like, what the hell? Yeah,
That's a niche market. It really is.
yeah. So I was like, I don't know what I should run. And then there's like this book called Sick in the Head by Judd Apatow that just has like all these interviews of like comedians and stuff like that. And this was right when like I started realizing I should start reading because before I would like, I'd like shit on reading because I'd be like, that sucks. But then I was like, I could get smarter if I read. And then I started reading that book and then I realized it could be possible. And then my friend's dad, he's like, he wrote for like Everybody Loves Raymond and stuff like that. I called him and I was like, yo, do you think I could do comedy? And he was like, yeah, I think so. So ever since that, I was like, all right, I think I should be a comedian.
Well, do you like driving in your car for like 8 to 10 hours by yourself? Do you like that?
I'm not on that wave yet, but hopefully that picks up.
Do you like do you like mass amounts of rejection for years and years?
No, but hopefully I'll pick that up as well.
You'll get used to it. Yeah. Exactly.
So Brian and I were sort of going over how you construct a joke, because he's been going to open mics, but he's still sort of unclear about the beginning, middle, end, punchline, tag, and all that. Like, just so he's been reading up on how you put a joke together. And I was thinking, since we had Sarah here and Brian here, that how much can the internet really tell you about how to do a complicated thing? So who's been to WikiHow? Because WikiHow is very thorough. So there's a WikiHow on how to become a comedian.
Oh, this ought to be good.
And Brett and I are here.
All right.
So you start there with the beginning, like, all right, I'm on this website. I'm on my way. All right.
How to be a comedian.
I'm on my way.
Yeah. Scroll down, John.
Right. Step
and
1.
Writing jokes.
Step 1, hate yourself.
So, you write-
Have a terrible upbringing.
Self-loathing. All right, so you have to write a joke, and the joke that they selected as an example is pretty good. 9 out of 10 doctors agree that 1 out of 10 doctors is an idiot. All right, so Brian, we were talking about the twist. So the beginning part is true, and then the last part is funny because it's like, what's wrong with that one doctor? How many comedians have we heard with this premise before? What's wrong with that one dentist that likes, sugar in your gum?
Yeah. Do you want to write a joke right now? So we construct one.
So we were talking about like the twist and the left turn and what it could possibly be, and
the bait and switch.
We were also talking about how much funnier it is when it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like if someone dies in your punchline, like you get a lot of points for that.
Oh, man, and if you ever hang out with just comedians, it can get real dark.
Really yeah. All right, so you want to write a joke right now?
Yeah, let's write a joke.
Okay.
Let's start with a topic.
Okay. I was trying to figure out a joke about Octomom.
Octomom.
Yeah, all right,
okay, that's a little dated. You want to bring it up to this century.
That's-
You might as well talk about the Iraq War. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh man.
Octomom, that was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
I know. I was wondering what our kids are
He
up
just
to.
told you that he's learned how to read.
Oh, that's
I don't know if anybody, right. I don't know if anyone remembers Octomom.
Well, let's see here. There's what can play with. You can play with the Clippers.
Okay.
You dig the Clippers?
Yeah, I like the Clippers.
And you wanted to be a sports broadcaster.
At a certain point.
And
There you go.
you realize everyone wanted to be a sports broadcaster. So that's like a setup right there. That's almost a half punchline right there.
So there's more sports broadcasters than there are Clippers. No, never mind.
Yeah, they can do that.
There's more people broadcasting the game than there are in the stands.
It's a lot. Writing a joke is a lot like throwing darts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once in a while, hit
it.
I find the best way to write a joke is to just hang out with your friends, because that's when you're like the most comfortable. And when you say something that gets like a huge laugh, just pull out your notebook and be like, discreetly write it down, and then you can workshop it when you get home.
Better yet, your friend says something that gets a huge laugh, and you say, "Can I have that?"
Yeah.
Or you can just Dane Cook it.
You just sit there and wait for your friends to be hilarious and say, "Hey, can I have that?"
Yeah, or you can just Men Steely it, whatever.
I have this like recording watch. I don't know how legal this is, but like
A recording watch.
Wait,
wow.
what?
It looks like
It's kind of Dick Tracy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like an Apple Watch, but it's like called the Ghost Watch, and I can like while I'm talking to people, I can just like turn it on and start recording myself while I'm talking.
Good to know, Brian.
That's clandestine.
I don't know. I know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's legal. But
In other words, you're wired.
Did you get that? Did you get that from the FBI?
Yeah.
Wow.
You and Flynn.
yeah.
What's the quality of the audio?
It's not that good.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Sounds like the Nixon
It's
tape.
reference. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll find like something. Also, I'll just record it if like for instance, I turned 21 this weekend, so I just like turned it. Like I recorded it to like see what I said.
And it's all because he's drunk.
Right.
Yeah, there's
Well,
definitely like me
I bet we
booting
could
for a
write a
while.
joke off. I have a premise for us, and that
Okay.
is the WikiHow on skating.
Skating.
You know,
Okay.
you
Wiki
don't
how on
actually
skating.
have to skate. You just go to the internet and read this, and you're a skater. Do you have the WikiHow on how to be an ice skater? Because we're gonna, Sarah,
To be an ice skater.
we're gonna check this. So
Oh, look, there's illustrations and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Wow.
There's. But I like this part. This
Cool.
part
Oh.
is the best because it's like this is the equipment,
wardrobe.
and they didn't give you this.
They give you work gloves to go ice
They
skating.
didn't give you any of this for comedian. Like like
That's true.
Oh, that's true. There
Any
were
gear.
no tools.
What would
Yeah.
be the gear for comedian?
It's
Like
all about the
notebook,
outfit,
you would need
know?
like
Pen.
a bulletproof vest.
bulletproof
Right.
vest, a helmet, one of those special ed
So,
helmets.
so the width of your
they are.
look at this, Sarah.
Yeah,
it's
I've
like
been
your
watching.
foot is measured. Make sure that your skates fit you. I guess this part.
And
is
you
that-
They
gotta
have
you
to
gotta
fit
buy
like a
wiki
glove.
house skates.
and you're
Yeah.
gonna need socks. Socks are great for
And no
for,
cotton. What's up with no cotton?
Uh-oh, why is cotton bad?
Yeah, well,
Sarah?
I think it's just too thick.
Too thick?
It's too thick.
You're
And
not the
then
first woman to tell me that.
Oh no. What is this? Look at the arrow. In case you won't see that this
A
guy's
helmet.
wearing a helmet, there's
Oh,
an
well,
arrow
that's-
pointing to his helmet.
He's wearing half of a bowling
this
Yeah, I
ball.
was just gonna say that he's wearing a
First.
bowling ball.
This is a lot of the
Yeah.
same gear that would help comedians probably, right?
Oh, the squatting part. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't want to lean too far back, right, Sarah?
right.
You want to keep the
Yeah, you don't
momentum
wanna-
forward
don't wanna
and
crack
the
your
weight
head on the ice.
forward.
Yeah, you want to keep your arms out
Mastering-
to the side.
You're
yeah.
going to master the basics.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a joke about this yet, Brian?
A lot of squatting.
No, I don't. I was just thinking that I have these like joke maximizer cards in my pocket that we could probably check out.
All right, let's see what
What's
we
a
got.
what? A choke
Maximizer.
maximizer?
Joke maximizer.
This is from
Oh, I thought you said choke, like around the throat. I'm like, what is that?
No.
Yeah.
What are the kids into
Yeah,
these
no.
days?
hype.
The kids into.
Yeah, this is like from like Joe Toplin. Like he like wrote for like a bunch of like late night talk shows.
Okay.
And he calls these joke maximizers.
So where did you get them?
Yeah, what?
a book?
Oh, so you wrote all this down from a book.
So you
Yeah.
didn't
So
write
this is like
these.
you went offline. You went offline and read a book.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
So there are like 12 of them.
All right, what do you got?
One-
Wait, let's hear.
One says shorten as much as possible.
Yeah, midgets are funny.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Peter Dinklage is
And it
hilarious.
says, make the joke as short as you possibly can. Try hard to
Okay.
limit the topic and the angle to one sentence each. Eliminate all unnecessary words from the joke, even all unnecessary syllables, unless any more cutting would, until any more cutting would hurt the joke.
So
Okay.
brevity is the key to it, is what he's
Right.
trying
Yeah,
to say.
that's
Oh, I
William
think
Shakespeare.
if you
right?
shut up, you're pretty damn funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing.
Just stand there.
Well, I can tell you what the key to comedy is. So you have to ask me, what is the key to comedy?
Okay,
Oh, I got it. Go ahead.
what's the
Timing.
Joe, you smelled that one coming up Fifth
God.
Avenue, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
I didn't
yep,
see that
yep.
coming.
Age-old joke.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
what else
a
is in
classic.
your choke?
that's a good one.
My choke triggers. Number 2, end on the laugh trigger. Decide which
But then
word.
I always cry when I get triggered. How about you guys?
No. Yeah.
No.
I try not to
sometimes.
cry, Brett.
Yeah, I do whenever I can.
What is a laugh trigger?
I think it's the word that is like the most unexpected, most surprising, or like the funniest
It's
word.
like what he means is
Oh.
like make sure that the punchline is the last word, not like the punchline and then a couple
Okay.
and then a sentence like 3 or 4 words that explain the word. Like rearrange your sentence so that the last word is the punch.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, it says
Are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Sure.
F yeah.
yeah, I snuck one in.
Wait, that's a mixed message right there.
Well,
F yeah.
it's like if we do swear, then I have to check the thing that says that we're explicit, and I'd rather not. But
Okay,
if
so
you
that's a
mu-
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never knew that, Wheeze.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So, but if you end in a word that's a hard sounding K,
Yeah, the hard consonants and
yeah,
stuff.
those are usually funnier
Like
to end with.
pants is funnier
I
than
know what
jeans.
word you were going to use, Brett.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Also, specific is funnier than
Duck.
general. So rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
saying, hand sanitizer, say the name of a hand sanitizer that everyone recognizes, right?
Oh,
Purell.
Purell, like Purell would be
yeah,
funnier
that's
than hand sanitizer. Like,
Yeah.
like get as specific as you can, as long
One
as
word.
people
It's
still understand.
shorter. That's one.
Yeah, understand it.
mhm.
What else you got, Brian?
And if it's hurtful, it's funny too.
Yeah.
When you hurt people's feelings, that's always funny.
Especially,
Yeah.
especially babies. If you hurt the baby's feelings, that's what it is.
I have backload the topic, number 3.
Backload the
Backload the topic.
Backload.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting sexual here. We're getting sex jokes here.
I guess. Make sure the topic begins with the least important information and ends with the most important information.
Who is this guy again?
Joe Toplin.
Joe Toblin?
Yeah.
Let's Google him. Google Joe
Yeah, because
Toplin.
I don't even know who that is.
How do you spell it? Let's look at this guy's face, then we can mock him.
I think it's Joe.
This is a great example.
Yoypln.
No, the Y doesn't come before the P, Brian.
Is that what I said?
Get back to the reading. Start over.
Are you stoned right now?
There he is.
This isn't him. How do you spell his
Oh,
last
he's a
name?
priest. He's a priest.
He's a priest.
Priest. That's why
He's
not that
backloading a lot of jokes if he's a
See,
priest, if you know what I'm saying.
T-O-P-L-Y. L-Y-N. Yeah, there he is.
that.
Yeah. There he
Did
is.
you say P like Peter?
He's got a book. Joe Toplin. There he is.
Oh.
There's Joe. He's a
there's
handsome
your
guy.
face.
Do I know this
Writer,
guy?
producer. We probably know Joe.
And there's that book.
Why does he look familiar to me?
Because you know Joe. It's Joe.
He's a TV writer?
Yeah.
Comedy writing for late night TV.
Do you know
That's
him?
right, baby.
Here's his
Hmm.
Here, yeah, we'll have to have him on the show. Or
Yeah, you
Dina,
gotta
we
snag
can
him.
put hashtag Joe Toplin, and then he'll be like, "Hey, they were talking about."
Here's
this.
his IMDb right here.
Here's his IMDb. Has he been in movies? Monk. Okay.
Yeah, he was a writer on Monk. It looks like. Oh,
Okay. All right. He's the real deal.
and The Late Show.
Yeah,
He's a real
he's a writer.
All right, so we're
Yeah.
gonna move on to the part of the show that I like to call
The part of the show, yes.
things we found online. You know,
Things we found online. There it is.
so, all right. Has everyone seen this on Facebook? There's this. Everyone's posting about. Oh, there's a Facebook algorithm change, and I want to know if you can see this because I'm afraid that only like 8 people can see this. So if you can see this, please comment.
What?
Or
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
They're
do you have-
they're concerned that they're not being seen.
everyone in my feed is cutting and pasting the same exact thing, and I have a screen
I
cap
get it.
of someone who did it. I can't remember who I.
I think that's true because if you click on certain people, that's always going to show up in your feed most often.
So they seem to be concerned with it right now, and so they're cutting and pasting it and saying, please comment below if you can see this because I want to know that my. It's like everyone's kind of freaking out. Like,
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
you mean nobody can hear me?
Nobody can see me.
But I'm saying things on the internet. You guys,
No one can see the pictures of my food.
knock.
It's not true.
All right, but do you
It's
have the
not
screen cap of it? So
Nobody knows I had eggs Benedict this
Is
morning.
it from,
What?
Is it from Carol? Is this what?
Yeah, it was Carol. I mean, because I've seen a million. It's not just Carol that
I
posted
have
this. Just a
too,
million.
Lise, yeah.
So can you read what she wrote, John? Carol Marshall wrote
Let's see.
this.
Sigh. Do I have to do this? Okay, fine. And in other words of Bumbleward, Facebook algorithm, blah, blah, blah. Would love to hear from more of my friends. Please leave a word, a phrase, an emoji, a picture of your favorite animal, a recipe, a curse word, a pirate joke, the name of your favorite movie, something cheering below. Thank you.
Okay, there's
So
a lot
Carol-
going on with Carol
So
here.
Carol wants to know, but she
There's a
really,
lot going
she's
on with
being
Carol.
Cute. She's being cute because she has a good personality, but she really just wants to know, like a lot of other people in my Facebook feed, can you see this? And
Yeah.
so
Right.
has anyone else seen those posts, and do you reply, yes, I can see you?
I have seen
I
it,
do.
and no, I don't reply
It
because it's a
reminds
waste
me
of my
like,
time.
Like there's a 10-year-old going off the board, going, "Mom, watch me, Mom, did you watch?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at me. Look at me.
And that we never outgrow being that person, do we?
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, comedians never do.
No.
But I liken this to the same thing on Facebook where they said that you had to post this copyright thing. Everyone was copy and pasting that thing. Like, oh, Facebook owns everything that I write, so here's a little thing. It's kind of the same thing. I don't think that's true at all. It's just
So my question then is like, Dina, if you see a thing that everyone else is doing on Facebook, do you do it?
No.
Okay.
If everybody's doing it, that usually means that it's wrong
Okay.
and it has incorrect information. And this is a perfect example of this.
Okay. So Carol's wrong and everyone else is wrong. Who's
So Dina, can't you? I do this when I'm looking at my feed. You can go in and change the way the feed comes to
Right.
you. Like look at newest first rather than whatever their a logarithm is or whatever.
algorithm? Yeah.
Thank you.
Someone called it an Al Gore rhythm. I wish
that's
I could
a good
say.
one.
I think it was.
That's a good joke. Come
think
on
it-
now.
Write it down.
It was
Brian.
Louise Goffin.
Wordplay is always
wrote that.
funny. Puns are
phone out.
I
good.
have to give credit to who wrote that, and it was Louise Goffin, and I was like, that's good. But
Nice.
So this particular thing that's going around is based on a very a very particular assumption that only like 26 people, like Facebook has made it so only 26 people can see your your posts, and it's completely incorrect. And there is coming a Facebook change that affects business Facebook pages, and this is almost like a brutalization of like what's going on with that, where people are just like picking up some information, like bits and pieces that they've somehow heard, and are just making up, like kind of taking it in their own, like however.
So it's like an internet rumor
want.
that's gone wild.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like Facebook's version of net neutrality.
Yeah. Well, like you'll see what I want you to see.
Well, it's this thing where these companies, they've done it on Instagram too, where now, it happened like a year or two ago when the timeline on your feed isn't in chronological order. You'll go on Instagram just like Facebook.
Oh, I've noticed that.
Yeah,
And
I have
it
too.
shows you what they think you want to see first, rather than the old way of like just keeping it chronological of what your friends are posting, which I prefer.
Well, and that's what I was saying to Dina, that you can switch that. It'll automatically switch back to the way Facebook wants it, but every time you go on, you can switch to newest first.
Oh, okay.
And can you do that on Instagram too?
No, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
Instagram is permanently changed.
All right. So also on my new feature, Twitter, why is this trending? I screen capped this one because I just thought this was great. It was hashtag Black Men Smiling. So I'm like, I can get behind that. So do you have that one? So yeah,
again,
it was
we're
like,
backloading.
This is what it basically was just like, I guess. And I don't know how these things start, or if someone is like, oh yeah, people say that black men don't smile enough. So somebody just was like, yeah, we do. Here we are smiling. And then that start. You can see hashtag black men.
Was this a Trump tweet or something?
No, I think it was just the internet saying, this is what I think should be trending is black men smiling. And so you can actually click on that hashtag and you will see scores. I like these guys because they had the hearts. So I picked them. But I saw just scores of black men smiling.
But this is true. I have seen black people in real life smile.
So it's not just an internet myth.
Right. It's not photoshopped.
And then I also...
It's a bold statement. Yes.
I stand by it.
Facebook feed time, I did screen cap your post, Brett, because it was pretty adorable. So do you have Brett Gilbert's post?
Let's
and
see.
then I'll let Brett read it.
Being a man means letting your 4-year-old daughter paint your nails pink.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you still got the polish?
No, but it was glitter today. I don't think you can see the glitter. They have a different polish.
So how often do you guys have to
every day
submit to this? Every day.
And you know what?
Every day.
Don't stop.
She does
Just
my
keep-
makeup now. Citrus does my makeup. She has this like little thing that she opens up and it's like this purple goop. She's like, do your makeup, Dad. And I'm just covered in goop on my face now.
How about braiding? Any braiding go on?
I do the braiding, goddammit.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
You are a
really
man.
good at the Elsa braid now.
Ooh, how does that?
Wow.
How does that
Whoa,
go?
that's a good talent.
It's a French braid, basically.
Oh, sure.
But they know it from Elsa from Frozen.
Elsa.
Oh,
Yeah.
Elsa from Frozen. All right. So it holds up to cold weather, I guess, right?
Yes, it does.
Yep.
And
So-
then back
It would
on
hold up
skate.
on the ice. Look at that.
Nice.
See, we came full
Nice
circle.
tie-in.
Look at
Nice
this.
tie-in.
All right. So Joe, do you have anything to share with the class?
No, you hit on everything that I was going to do, and I'm quite upset about that. Thanks, Wheeze. No, I don't. I don't at the moment. Thank you.
We'll have to have Nick back next week. I pay the dues for him to speak because I think he has a lot to say about Instagram and the Explore page. I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, have you? When do you go up on stage again? We're going to write you some jokes.
I don't know, cause it's horrible to say. Cause like right now I'm writing this like ridiculous movie, and
That's cool.
yeah. And thank you. And but
Thank you.
That's a good title, actually. The ridiculous movie.
oh, maybe I will call it that.
Ridiculous movie too.
I was gonna call it I'm in Auckland, but I think that's better than.
Do you
I'm
have
in
a
Auckland.
you have a title for your movie?
No, I might honestly do the ridiculous.
It's good.
movie.
You have to
All right,
Google
Joe,
it, make sure
can
no
you
one
give
has
us?
it.
Can you please give us a trailer for the ridiculous movie, so that Brian has this?
Give us a log line.
Yeah. What's the movie about?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're using
I
technical
thought you were
terms
talking to him,
here.
and I was like, I don't think I told him about.
No. Joe is a professional voiceover
Oh, okay.
artist, and he's gonna.
Yes, we can do a trailer for
my
it. We can get
God.
that
Trailer for the
done
ridiculous
in like
movie.
yeah.
And I can do some action music for you, too.
Yeah.
What's going on?
We are selling your movie before you make it.
We are
Okay.
full service.
And you need a hook line in the movie, too. Someone that goes, "What you saying?"
You can do the poster.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'll do
That's
the
right.
poster. There you go.
And you can ice skate.
Yeah. Skating in this movie.
Good one, Sarah.
Circle.
Let's add some skating.
Some guy will skate up, hit another guy in the head with a pipe, and go, "What you saying?"
Okay, so basically, it's about I'm studying abroad in New Zealand, and I'm leaving in like a week, which is gonna be really cool. And then, but the whole movie is like I'm
He's
studying
leaving in 1 week for New
1 week,
Zealand.
baby.
In a world in New Zealand.
Abroad.
Way down under.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clock is ticking.
Okay, you're going to school abroad.
I'm studying abroad, and I'm having a good time. And then it turns out I'm failing all my classes, and so I come to the realization that the only way that I can pass all my classes is if I find the ring from the Lord of the Rings. So
Oh my goodness.
So then I go on this epic journey to find the ring, and while I'm on the journey, it turns out that the world that Lord of the Rings is based off of is actually real, but it turns out that Peter Jackson showed up and fabricated the whole thing and disenfranchised all the people of Middle Earth. So like I encounter an orc and a tree, and then
Oh my God, my head hurts.
it's domeless. Golem tells Peter Jackson that I'm about to find the ring, and then there I get trapped at some point, and like I had this whole 127 hour like mock spoof thing.
You smoke a lot of weed, don't you?
I used to smoke a lot of weed.
Your ridiculous movie is going to be ridiculously expensive.
Dude,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
also
don't-
going to have some copyright issues.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
was just thinking of that.
Wait, what issues do you think?
You don't own the rights to
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I couldn't say like, yo,
Can you say Peter Jackson though?
I can't. So because like I had this one scene where like my character is like friends with Peter Jackson, and like Alexa tells me that like the ring could potentially.
Alexa. We got another copy infringement.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Alexa's a big part in the story. So
Oh, man.
But just change the names and you're good. You know what I
Wait,
mean?
like here's how you have to look at it in terms of copyright. Is like could South Park do this? Could they spoof Lord of the Rings in this way? Like if South Park could do it, then
Well, in
Brian could do
terms
it.
of comedy, parody
Right.
kind of like wipes out all the
Yeah.
copyright issues.
You know what?
But
If you're gonna have
it's good
Alexa
to
in it-
change names, though. You know what I mean? So instead of
gotta have
Alexa,
Amazon.
yeah, you
I have
get
to say like Alexi.
you
yeah.
could say
Alexa.
Alina.
People
People get it. People get it.
Okay.
Alexa.
Alexa.
All right.
But that's
Okay.
but that's
All right,
stuff
we
you
gotta
change
end our-
at the
we have-
end of your when
We
you're
do
finished
need to
writing.
end our
Okay.
podcast though. So
Sorry.
Joe,
Sorry
do you
about that.
have a trailer for Brian?
Well, I think we've said it all. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for one movie that is the most complicated movie you'll.
One man's epic journey to find a ring that's been copyrighted.
What
But wait,
happens when a college
wait.
boy gets stoned and writes a movie?
7 hours.
Watch this November. You will learn.
You will learn how to rip a bong.
All right, I want to thank everyone for being with us. John Maddox, Thomas Hubble, Dina Friedman, Brian Boyd Nelson, Sarah Kawahara, Brett Gilbert, and of course, as ever, Scott Leslie.
Yes,
who's
Scott.
remarkably still this
Man.
entire process.
He's interrupting everybody this
And
whole show.
Teresa, who served us refreshments. I'm Louise Palenka. We are
Teresa.
Joe Cipriano, Larry Morgan, and I are your new favorite podcast, Things I Found Online. Please like us on the internet. We love you. Bye.
Thumbs up. Bye.